we'll give you just a second here. Alrighty. Our next speaker, Deborah Razzo. Did I say your last name right, Deborah Razzo? Okay, good. Deborah is a radical real estate investor. Whew, I'm out of breath now. She is the founder of the Women's Real Estate Network. She's all about infinite heart and real estate badassery. Yeah. She's going to talk to us about freedom, fear, and finding your tribe. Let's welcome Deborah.
Have you ever felt like life has handed you a reset button, but it ended up being more of a wrecking ball? Yeah, not just a gentle nudge, you're not going to be the same after that kind of thing. Yeah, I have. My name is Deborah Razzo, and I've been an entrepreneur for about 30 years. Currently own and operate two different companies, a real estate investment company and the Women's Real Estate Network, a community of women investors who help each other grow their self-worth and their net worth. And it's been a journey. I'd love to talk to you about deals and doors and all that kind of stuff because I love that. But when talking to Stacy about what I want to talk about up here, I'm going to talk to you about freedom. And because for me, that's what real estate is. It's a vehicle of freedom, and not just financial freedom. I'm talking about time freedom. I'm talking about energy freedom. I'm talking about soul freedom, right? I want to share with you my journey into real estate because it kind of happened in a weird way. 15 years ago, I had an opportunity to start over. Anybody ever have one of those opportunities? Yeah. Some people might be going through an opportunity like that right now. For some people, it's some heartbreak. It's the loss of a loved one or a divorce. Right, Margie? For me, it was a car accident. A tire blew, and the driver of the SUV lost control of the car. The car went into the dirt and flipped. And I was in the passenger side, so I got the brunt of the accident. I was air-vac'd to a hospital with a head wound, and I was told I had a broken neck. It would take a while for them to operate because the swelling had to go down, but eventually I got a titanium brace, and I started a healing journey. I was in a neck brace for over 9 months. I was a single mom with 2 kids in high school, and it was a pretty crazy and difficult time in my life. And most of all, I had time to think about life and how fragile it really is, right? Think about if I liked my own life. And was it really what I intended? I had that time to ask those questions to myself that maybe some of us avoid. I know I had. And I didn't have a bad life. I don't want to paint that picture. But was it what I really wanted? Was it thriving? I had my own business, but to be honest, I had made myself a job. I wasn't running my business was running me. And I realized I wanted to make some changes. I realized I didn't want to live that way. I had heard the term passive income, and I don't know what it was about it, but it lit something up inside me. I was like, I want to get some of that. And I did what any slightly A-type woman would do. I Googled it. And real estate kept coming up. And I realized that I wanted to dip my toe in that pool. I started to educate and network with other investors. And sure enough, I bought my first property, which was a flip. And I was excited and terrified. And I flipped it, and it worked. So I did it again. Yeah. And again. And again. And again. I'm still doing it. I took the money that I made from those flips and I bought a few rental properties in Memphis, Tennessee, and then I started investing in multifamilies in Texas and Arizona, and I even have a bed and breakfast in Puerto Rico now. Yeah. Hello, and my partner in that property is in the back here. Catherine, say hi. Because if there's anything I know is that you don't do this alone. You don't do this alone, and you don't make changes like this alone. When I was healing from my accident, my brother had to come out and take care of me. God bless him. And as I was getting better, he was realizing I wanted to make some changes. And he had just attended a bunch of Tony Robbins events. Does everybody here know who Tony Robbins is? Yeah. And he had just attended a bunch of those events, and he said, if you really want to make some changes, you're going to have to start here. And he goes, I think maybe when you're well enough, you should go to an event. And so I did. And then I went again, and I drank the Kool-Aid. Not because I needed new strategies, because I needed a new story. I needed to believe I could have the life I dreamt of. Anybody else need to believe that? Yeah, I needed to believe that too. And I learned a lot working with Tony, and now I actually work for Tony. I'm one of 200 trainers that he flies out to help other people make lasting change. Because the fact of the matter is, stepping into your power is a process, and it takes courage and practice. And then more practice. And then guess what? Some practice. Right? It is a process. It is a growing, living, evolving process. And I got to experience that. Excuse me, sorry. Of course I forget this part. Just when I thought I had it all together, I'd rewritten my story. Last year, this is the first time I've talked about this. I was diagnosed with an aggressive cervical cancer. Chemo and radiation at the same time. It knocked me down physically, emotionally, spiritually. Whew. And then on December 20th, I was declared cancer-free. And that moment changed me again. Not because I didn't know I was a survivor. I knew that already. But because I realized I had grown in my strength. And here's the truth. I don't know what every chapter is going to look like. But I do know one thing, and that is that fear doesn't get to write the next chapter. Faith does. Right? I think that fear is kind of tricky, and it messes with your mind. And oddly enough, I heard a comedian say something about fear and how I feel about this whole human experience. This is what he said. Your brain is a jerk. He's like, it has all the ingredients to make you feel good. Dopamine, adrenaline, endorphins, and it's like a greedy little troll that withholds it all from you, right? Your brain is like, do you want to feel good? And you're like, yeah. And he's like, do you want to feel really nice? And you're like, yeah, I do. And your brain's like, go for a jog. And you're like, what? No, I am the commander-in-chief. Give me the goods right now, right? Doesn't it sometimes feel like your brain isn't on your side? That your brain isn't your biggest cheerleader? Yes, it feels that way to me too. But there's something that I've learned. And that is, you don't have to listen to every thought in your head. Yeah. Yeah. And you don't have to obey every fear, right? You get to choose who you become, and you can choose faith, right? So if you're here today and you're wondering if you can start over, or you're wondering if you're too old, or you're wondering if that thing that happened to you is the end of your story, I'm here to tell you it might just be the beginning, right? Start where you are. Use what you've got. Or as Stacy says, do the thing. Just a little thing, right? Get in a room like this one and surround yourself with people who are going to walk with you. In fact, I'm going to challenge you today. I want you to meet 3 people in this room. 3 people who might walk with you, stretch you, walk beside you, right? Because that's what we need to do. Because nobody does this alone. That life you want, it wants you too. Thank you.